This video is a personal and detailed account of the mental, emotional, physical, and financial abuse I have suffered at the hands of my mother over the course of my life. It is not written for her redemption. It is not written for closure. It is written to hold her accountable, even if only in words. The decades of trauma she inflicted on me while disguising herself as a mother. I am no longer afraid to tell the truth. And the truth is, my mother has been the source of my deepest wounds, not my protector from them. Number 1, psychological and emotional abuse. From early childhood, my mother intentionally instilled fear in me using a made-up monster called the Moo, a fabricated shadow creature that would come for me at night. It wasn't cute or silly, it was cruel. She delighted in my fear, using it to manipulate me into submission. That fear morphed into a long-term anxiety, a fear of the dark, shadows, nighttime sounds, and even sleep itself. Even still, to this day, I have issues sleeping. She has called me awful, belittled me when I tried to express discomfort, and regularly twisted reality to make herself the victim. She woke me in the middle of the night just to tell me that I was a terrible daughter, sober, deliberate, and with full intent to hurt me. She called me ungrateful, selfish, disobedient, and more whenever I asserted even the smallest boundary. Anytime I expressed discomfort, whether it was with her actions, her touch, her words, she dismissed it or turned it into an attack on her. She was always the victim. My discomfort made her cry. My pain was my fault. She never once acknowledged how much she hurt me. Never once tried to change. Instead, she doubled down. Number 2, physical abuse. I was beaten with hangers, flip-flops, and belts. The discipline was never about correction. It was about domination. She and my stepdad would hit me for things like disobedience, disrespect, or even crying. I learned early on that pain was the consequence of being a child in her house. Getting my hair done was not a bonding moment. It was torture. Painful chemicals, no choice, no mercy. I wasn't allowed to cry while my scalp was burned. I wasn't allowed to resist while she yanked and pulled and pretended it was all out of love. It wasn't. It was control. And to this day, I can't stand people touching my head. The trauma lives in my scalp. Number 3, neglect and unstable living conditions. Back in 2010 to 2012, we lived in a roach and rat-infested apartment where I didn't even have a bed, just a deflating air mattress and eventually a camping cot. There was rarely any food in the house, unless she or my stepdad were eating. And somehow, in all of this, she still made herself the priority. Her bed was comfortable. Mine wasn't. Her plate was full. Mine was negotiable. She stood by as her husband fed me food I hated, forced me to eat when I was full, hit me for refusing, and even starved me as punishment. She enabled a man who mocked me, harmed me, threw away my belongings, and destroyed my dignity. And she did nothing. Or worse, she agreed with him, because I had it coming. Because he was more important than me. Every single time. 4, financial abuse. Once I started earning my own money, she ensured that she still had full control. She forced me to open a bank account with her name on it and then blocked my access to my own debit card. She stole a majority of my paycheck under the excuse of helping with bills while refusing to let me contribute in ways that gave me any control or say. And when I dared question her, I was met with fury. She would buy me things I didn't want, eat the snacks I did buy for myself, and then scream at me if I asked for autonomy. She made my money her money, my space her space, my voice irrelevant, her house her rules, no matter how exploitative or selfish they were. 5, sexual and bodily violations. She constantly invaded my body, my privacy, and my right to say no. One of the most sickening examples was on Mother's Day, when I told her her touch made me uncomfortable. She refused to stop. Then she guilt-tripped me and got others involved because how dare I assert myself on her day? Her family repeatedly disrespected my body and boundaries, touching me, forcing me to take photos, even bathing me like I was a toddler at 20 years old. And she excused it. She defended them, because protecting me has never been her priority, only preserving the illusion of family harmony at my expense. 6, ongoing humiliation and selfishness. This woman screamed in my face over ice cream, then bought a replacement in the middle of the night out of spite. She steals pillows while I'm resting, forces me to leave the bathroom mid-use for her emergencies, begs like a toddler for my tablet when she's bored, but treats me like trash when I have needs. She has made every conversation, every argument, every moment about herself. Her needs, her pain, her comfort. Even when I was hurting, she demanded sympathy. Even when I was starving, she demanded gratitude. Even when I was violated, she demanded loyalty. My mother is not a parent. She is a tyrant, a narcissist, a coward who surrounds herself with enablers and silences anyone who questions her authority. She treats her daughter not as a person, but as property. And now, for the first time in my life, I am claiming my freedom. I will no longer live under her thumb. I will no longer explain myself. I will no longer try to gain her approval, her affection, or her understanding. I will build a life without her in it. Because she is not a mother. She is a lifelong trauma I'm finally walking away from. And I won't look back.